would like to welcome you guys to my very first episode of my new series called the Pushysix algorithm. Transporting the equipment is no easy task. In this episode, we'll be learning exactly what all is involved when transporting a 100-ton excavator throughout the city streets. Different sites require different machines to actually build the site. In most cases, the office or the estimators, when they bid on the job, they've already decided which machines are going to be most efficient to build that site. However, sometimes things on the site go better than planned or estimated. If this is the case, then the foreman can decide if his site can handle more machines to move even more dirt. If this is the case, he's going to make a phone call to his superintendent, and it's going to sound something like this.
Question for you. That other 1250, I've seen it's parked. Are they done with it, or? Oh yeah, okay. Well, I have this idea. I could probably use it. I know I already have the 1200, but I could also use another one.
So we just heard a great example of a foreman phoning his boss, the superintendent. He was requesting the 1250 to be moved to site. Now, it's not as simple as just phoning his boss or phoning dispatch to arrange the move. A bunch of things have to happen to move an excavator this size. So come with me, we're going to go speak with the mechanic and find out and learn what's all involved in moving this 1250.
So we're going to move the 1200. In order for that to happen, it has to be disassembled, obviously. So what's the process of taking the stick and the bucket off as a mechanic?
As a mechanic? Well, first of all, we start to see what we all have to take off, what our road bands are. And then we probably bring our trucks in and we'll start with the bucket. First you just pull your pins on that. Fairly simple, undo some bolts, push them out. Just bulwark more than anything. And then I probably move to the stick next. So you gotta disconnect your hydraulic lines, cap them, pull your stick pin there, and pull your stick cylinder off. That's where it gets a little tricky because you're always above ground when you're doing that, it's a little bit higher up. Support equipment, you probably bring in another crane to hold that stick up as you pull that pin.
Like what size of crane?
Oh, I'd say at least a 20-ton would do the whole thing.
Hydraulic fluid, you gotta drain all the lines, take out the stick cylinder, and...
Yeah, well actually we leave the stick cylinder on, we just gotta pull the one pin.
Oh, gotcha.
And then he stays all together.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so we just put another sling where that stick cylinder would go.
Oh, and it stays on.
Yeah, and then we have an operator in the cab, and that's where it's pretty crucial. You have to have a good operator, someone you can trust. And he just finds that sweet spot and you just pound that pin out. And then that's your stick and bucket off. And you gotta cap your lines before you can start anything, of course.
Yeah.
And then just lower everything to the ground, and then you'd move back to your counterweight would be next.
Yeah, let's go check that out. Now, I've seen this done lots before, but I actually, I don't know how to do it. So just kind of run through the process of how you take this off. I do know on this machine, this one weighs like 17 tons or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. And so you position your crane, get him all strapped up, and then first you come under here. And all it holds this counterweight on is these bolts here. So on this particular one, you got 8 different bolts. Most likely you're gonna need a high torque to take those off. You're talking like a 1,500, 2,000 foot-pounds maybe. Give or take whatever manufacturer spec is.
And then the crane just picks the top of it off?
Yeah, so once you take these off, as long as there's no cylinder connected to it, some do, some don't have a cylinder. And then...
on the cats, right, they run on cylinder?
Cat and some Komatsus, I know the 800 series do. And yeah, he just picks up a little bit, gets his weights, and either he can pick and swing or you can just drive the hoe ahead.
On the 1250, it's got roughly the same size of weight. Does that one come off different than this? Do you know?
No, that one should be the same. It might have 6, 8 bolts. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go look at it again.
Just bolted on.
Yeah, that's all. They're just bolted on. A lot of them have aligning pins up in there. Be a big piece of steel that was kind of countersunk a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's essentially all it is.
Start to finish to disassemble this to be moved, timeline-wise, how long?
You're looking at a day.
day, full
Yeah.
day?
Full day.
Full day, a couple guys, crane.
Yep. Got a couple mechanics, an operator, a crane operator, and you're ready to rip it apart.
Now, going back to the stick for a second, so all those parts that you take off, where do you put those so you don't lose them? Like, do you keep them organized so when you reassemble, it's quick and easy?
Yeah, you can, or sometimes with a big hole like this, you'll have a little kit built onto it, a toolbox.
Oh yeah, in the side door.
Yeah,
yeah, I got you.
So a mechanic will go first of all, and he'll get everything you need, caps, plugs, and he'll set it in there, so that the next guy comes, he has everything right there ready to go.
Is it numbered, or no, it just goes back on?
It just goes back onto there. Usually you know already where you're going to put everything.
Now that we've seen what it takes to disassemble a 1200 or a 1250 to be moved, it's now ready. The next step in the process is wait for the heavy haul division to come pick it up. Since we are able to do everything in-house, including moving and hauling our own equipment, the wait time is usually very short. But until then, let's go talk to Dean. He's the truck driver who's going to be moving the 1250. We're going to go see him, talk to him, and learn exactly what his role is in moving the 1250.
Before you move the 1250, kind of what's all involved? Like, do you have permits and stuff like that that you need to get? And is there times that you can't transport a machine like this on the big trailer?
Yep, so our dispatcher, he'll go through and get permits, and the city of Calgary has different restrictions on bridges and stuff for routes, so he figures out the best route where we can go with the weight. And for the times, they have times we can't travel between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m.
Not during rush hour?
Yeah, and 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. So the rush hours. So we have like 6.5 hours in the middle of the day kind of to get her done.
So one thing I was wondering is, it's a giant trailer with how many tires?
92.
92 tires. So what does your pre-trip kind of look like? You check every tire? Or?
Yeah, so you got to go through and make sure every tire's got air. Obviously, we don't go through with a
gauge.
chuck and check them all. But yeah, go through, check every tire, check all your lights, make sure everything on the trailer's secure, doing your brake test and tug test, make sure it's all good, all your fifth wheels are locked. So it's the same as a regular trailer, just a little bit wider scale. It takes a little bit longer, but.
So how long is it, like with your truck? You got 2 Jeeps?
Yeah, so truck, 2 Jeeps, the rail section, and then the dolly in the back. So the overall length's probably close to 150 feet.
Is it a dolly or a satellite? Like, what's the proper name?
Yeah,
I'm not a trucker, I don't know.
Dolly.
Dolly? So with that dolly, going around a corner, do you control it or the pilot truck, or?
So actually the dolly controls itself when we're going down the road, and it all works with hydraulics, and it can sense when I'm making a corner, and then it'll steer out. And then so like times where we get to site, and if it's tight or we got to turn around, we can break the steering in the middle of the dolly, and then the pilot, one of my pilots, can steer it, and they can control the rear of the trailer. And
steer it like with a switch or something?
With a remote, yep.
A remote, yeah. That's pretty sweet. rail trailer.
Yep.
How's that different than like a normal flatbed that we have?
So the rail is good for us for getting height down, for going under overpasses and everything. So we gain a lot of height with the rail because everything sits lower. On the deck section, we're always fighting with height, and it's a little bit sketchy with these bigger hose because not much of the track sits on the trailer.
Yeah, I seen that.
So with the rail, it's a lot sturdier. It blocks up under the house, and then the tracks obviously sit on the outside of the rail.
So kind of start to finish, what's the process of loading this on the trailer?
So we get into site, find a decent spot to load, split the trailer, so take the 2 Jeeps away, and then the rail's sitting on the ground, and basically just drive the excavator over the rail, put some blocks in there just to gain our ride height so the hose sits where we want it to. Back the Jeeps back in and pick it back up, and we're ready to go. Chain it down.
I have an excellent question for you. Can you back up that trailer?
Yep, so, well, like I said, usually you have a pilot steering the back of it.
Yeah.
And then I just control the 2 Jeeps up front.
So seeing as you have 2 Jeeps, so you got 3 pivot points between your truck, 5th wheel, a Jeep, and then another Jeep.
Yeah.
So then you back up like a normal car like that then? Because it...
Yeah, so it's like backing up a normal trailer, but you're adding another one, so you got to know what to do with the front Jeep to make the back Jeep go which way you want it to.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I bet that's like super tricky. Unloading this, I seen that you have to put blocks on the ground. Like, does the trailer not drop enough?
So yeah, like we load it and we put blocks. It's same when we load it. We lift the hoe up, we block it, and then we lower the trailer and put some blocks between the trailer and the hoe, and then lift it up off the blocks, take them out from under the tracks, and go down the road. And then same when we're unloading, we lift the trailer up, block the tracks, lower the beam, and take the blocks out from underneath. So all of that is just to get the proper height of the hoe, because if we were just to lift the hoe up with the trailer, the hydraulics on the neck and hydraulics on the dolly would be like way up in the air, so it's just unsturdy. So with blocks underneath, that way we can lower the trailer as low as it'll go.
Yep.
And still have clearance from the track to the ground.
Let's go look back here for a second. So the rails of the trailer sit on the track frame, or the track frame sits right on the rails?
Yep, well, between some blocks, so that's where we block.
Gotcha.
It's between the rail and the track frame.
And then to chain it down, like you have like massive chains or just a bunch of normal ones? Or
No,
what?
just a bunch of 1/2-inch chain. Chain the tracks, chain off the idler mounts, chain over the boom.
Now what's the process of unloading this? It's basically the same as loading.
Yeah,
it's quite simple.
Basically the same as loading, just in reverse. Yeah, you get to site, lift it up, block the tracks, and then lower the rail so you can get the blocks out from in here, and then lift it back up, get the blocks out of the tracks, lower it, split the trailer, and then drive this off.
Now, what's it like exactly driving a truck and trailer? It's how long?
About 150 feet.
150 feet long. It's how wide?
And the trailer on the ground is 17 feet wide. This hoe, with the steps off the side and stuff, is probably about 19 feet wide.
15 feet wide. So, what's it like transporting that through the city?
It's pretty fun.
And neighborhoods. You
Yeah.
drive down residential areas. Like,
Yeah.
that must be crazy.
It's pretty cool. You get lots of people running out, taking pictures and videos, and it obviously can be stressful. It's tight. You're in the city. you're trying to go into subdivisions where it's tight with a pickup, and
I know.
And a lot of people don't understand what we're about to do, or stopping distance or anything like that, right? So it can be stressful at times going around the city, but most days it's pretty cool, pretty fun.
Disassembled, we take off the stick, the bucket, and counterweight. I think this weighs like 17 tons or something crazy like that. So with that all disassembled and off the machine, what's the weight of the machine that you're actually hauling on the trailer?
Yeah, so with it stripped and how we haul it in our trailer, probably roughly around 350,000 pounds.
350,000 pounds. Without that other stuff.
Yeah, without the counterweight, without the stick, and without the bucket.
Your truck and trailer, how much can it hold? Max.
120 ton trailer.
120 tons. A D11 and a D8.
Yeah.
So your truck is, it's a Kenworth, right?
Yep, it's Kindred.
What type of engine does it have in it? Do you know roughly horsepower wise?
So it's got a ISX 600 Cummins, 18 speed, and then with this bigger stuff we have a 4-speed auxiliary in it. So it's all about the gearing. It's just lower gears, and so you can pull stuff like this.
Now, with the 18 speed, that has half gears in it too, right?
Yeah.
So 10 and then a bunch of half gears, or 12 and a bunch of half?
Yeah, so you got your 8 gears, and you can split all those, and then with my 4-speed auxiliary, I can
Split it again.
go between that as well.
Seeing you're not an actual hoe operator, do you ever get nervous when you have to load this one or other machines on the trailer? Like, especially it's called a beaver tail or some shit, where you walk up the back.
Yep.
Now, I've done that lots before, but I run everything, so it's not that bad for me. Now, what's it like for you? Because you don't have a lot of experience in a machine to begin with. Now you load them lots, so now you're really good, but kind of what was it like the first time you had to load this, or 385 or D11? What was that like?
Yeah, so the bigger the machine is actually the easier, because the bigger trailer is set on the ground. So all the bigger stuff is actually pretty basic. It's the small little hose and little D4s and stuff that you're going over the back of the beaver tail.
That's a scary shit.
Those can be some sketchy ones, but you get used to it. The smaller stuff you're doing 5 or 6 a day, and yeah, you know what to do and where to be on the trailer.
Now that the 1250 has been moved to site, and we've seen the whole process of what it takes to move a massive beast like this, it's now time to put it to work. Up until now, I was moving roughly 14,000 cubic meters a day. I wanted to bring that up to 20,000. So prior to the 1250 being moved there, I had the 1200 loading 5 773 trucks, 6 651s being pushed by D11 and 4 657s push pulling. Now for me to achieve 20,000 cubes a day, the 1250 with the 4 new rigids would have to achieve 6,000 cubes a day. Now it's just not as easy as wanting to move more dirt or getting hoeing trucks moved to site. There's more to that. You need the fill areas, you need the room, you need the support equipment to make all that happen. Now, in episode 3, I'm gonna take you guys through the whole process of how I manage all these machines and fill areas and the entire site. But up next, in episode 2, we're gonna learn the whole process about dealing with the D11 with the blown engine.